Okay, perfect.
Welcome back, soccer fans. It is a hot night for USL2 soccer action here at Edor Nelson Field, where Minneapolis City returns home to face River Light FC. I am John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hooneman. Dan, Minneapolis is scorching today.
It is, but tonight's not just about the Heat or about soccer, John. Tonight's donations are about powering science. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the Gene Party. All proceeds from tonight, from the Gene Party event we're doing here at the game, go to the University of Minnesota's Center for Genome Engineering. That's where researchers right here in the Twin Cities are developing innovative therapies for cancer and genetic diseases and training the next generation of genetic engineers. To learn more about how your support fuels groundbreaking research and shapes the future of medicine, visit cge.umn.edu. That's cge.umn.edu. So anyway, we're here. It's the second annual Gene Party. And for those who don't know, the Gene Party is a denim-themed celebration and fundraiser. Now, denim may not be what you choose to wear here tonight.
It's 100 degrees.
Yeah. But we're here. We're doing it anyway. Fans are rocking their best jorts and jeans jackets. The Crows are bringing back their special edition Gene Party kits. Proceeds from tonight's silent auction and jersey sales will help advance cutting-edge genetic research. And for all of it, well, there's a personal connection, and that's to Scott Mank and his family, who are helped by that type of cutting-edge genomic research. I think that's one where it really starts to tug the heartstrings and make the donations really worth it. And
last year, I think you might agree, Dan. I think the Gene Party was a success. We raised just around $10,000, maybe even more. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were the money guy.
It was $10,000. We got the big check to present to.
Always wanted to figure out how to get a big check. But no, it was a successful event. Sponsors were here. Everyone was having fun. We tried to get a selfie for the most people wearing denim. Just missed out by one or two on that. But it was a great event, and we're really happy to have another good cause from a genetic research perspective that we can hopefully raise more than $10,000 for this season.
Absolutely, and this one's a little bit of a tough one with the heat and the time change, but it's nice to see people already starting to arrive. There's a silent auction. We've got a great raffle. There's a whole bunch of ways to help. You can go to MPLSCitySC.com to learn more about the Gene Party, or again, you can go to cge.umn.edu.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the normal things, starting lineups, player to watch, keys to victory, all the stuff that Dan and I do all that research on before we get started. Once again, it is USL2 soccer action tonight. The Gene Party, Minneapolis City versus River Light FC. I'm John Bisworm. That is Dan Hudeman. Stay with us, and we'll have more pregame intro information in a few minutes.
The atmosphere playing at home, the fans make it a lot of fun and they make it a really enjoyable experience.
Oliver with the right foot, the shot at Oliver! Justin Oliver!
I love the club, I love the fans, I love the people. It's a special place.
There's Bechtel, Mensa in the middle if he can find him, and the right foot, and the header!
Welcome back, USL2 soccer fans. Edor Nelson Field on the campus of Augsburg University. I'm John Bisworm. I'm once again joined by the Dan Hudeman. This game today, Dan, has a lot to cover, so we're gonna get right into it. If you're talking about the Crows, they had an empathetic 3-1 victory over St. Croix Legends in their most recent edition of the Twin Cities Derby earlier this week on Wednesday. I think they put on that show for the home crowd, and I think that was a statement victory to build momentum to the into the second half and into the playoffs. We already mentioned it. Temperatures here are quite warm, mid-90s. I checked during the break. But for the home side, Minneapolis City is starting to find its groove, Dan, at the midway point with their recent outing, and I think that 3-1 victory after conceding early in the 12th minute and going down 1-0. The response from Shea Bechtel right before halftime, pouncing on a rebound, and then all of a sudden being caught in a wheelbarrow race, which was really interesting. But then the second half, substitutions came on, and the Crows started to seize control. Joe Highfield put his laces through like a 25-yard deep finish from Ian Shaw, and then substitute Preston Kipnusu capped the night off with the third goal and his fourth of the season. So sealing that statement victory, I think, is what is not only extending a winning streak. We haven't had one of those in a long time. So extending a winning streak, but that result, I think, firmly puts us in that conversation. If Sueño can get a few less results and we can continue this momentum, we're looking at maybe tops of the Heartland division.
It is certainly tight at the top. Riverlight, however, they come into tonight's match on the back of a run of mixed results. And frankly, if you watch them, especially the end of the games, there's been a lot that has been going on in them. On June 7th, Riverlight earned a hard-fought 1-0 road win over Rochester FC, but since then, they've struggled to turn performances into points, although the close loss is not always their fault. 2-1 defeat at RKC Third Coast, and then another 2-1 setback to division leader Sueño. But then a 2-2 draw at home against RKC Third Coast. I'd encourage everyone to see the last 5 minutes in stoppage time of that. That was a weird one. Things happening. Anyway, despite showing flashes of resilience and ability to compete with top teams, which they absolutely have, Riverlight, they've collected just 4 points from the last 4 matches. So they're going to be eager to get back on track, back in the win column as they look to climb the Heartland Division standings with only 4 or 5 games left.
Correct.
All right, John, well, let's swing now. Let's talk about the player to watch. So, as always, sponsored by tonight's youth clubs of the game. We have Northwest Como Rec Center, Egan SC, and Wave SC. Minneapolis City, we're proud to support local soccer and give back to the community. A big thank you to all the players and families for being part of our match day today.
All right, so who do we have, Dan?
John, we got Ian Shaw.
So from a perspective of who is Ian Shaw, Ian Shaw just competed his freshman season at Notre Dame. He appeared in 16 matches as a true freshman, contributing a goal and 3 assists, and really helping the Fighting Irish compete in that Big East Conference. That's high-level soccer.
Absolutely.
As a youth standout from North St. Paul, he was developed in both the Minnesota Timbers and Minnesota United academies, and he's earned a handful of U17 national call-ups. So right there, Dan, it just showcases that he had the potential from an elite perspective from a young age.
Absolutely.
And then last but certainly not least, he is the absolute definition of a tactical distributor. He is been a key creative force centrally for Minneapolis City this season, combining his vision and composure on the ball in the midfield and distributing with precision. We talked about it in the open. He had that vital assist, what ended up being the game winner for Minneapolis City in that 3-1 victory last time out. And I'd love to see him do more of that to unlock the defense.
All right, so with that, let's swing to the keys to victory. These, as always, are sponsored by our longtime sports medicine provider, Twin Cities Orthopedics.
So if you're picking up what we've been putting down, selecting Ian Shaw as our player to watch tonight, control the midfield, Dan. Winning that battle in the center, I think, is essential. We talked about players to watch, Ian Shaw, but also Jake Swellen, last game's player to watch. They're the ones that need to dictate that tempo and connect passes. And really, on the defensive side, limit River Light from getting the ball deep into City's half. Number 2, I'd say stay organized defensively. If they do break down the midfield, River Light has shown that they can strike and strike quickly. So maintaining a defensive discipline, especially during those chaotic transition periods, I think is a must for City today. And then energy level. We talked about the high temperatures. That's going to impact focus, endurance, speed, first touch, second touch,
it's
everything.
Brutal here.
Yep.
And I think on that one, too, it's been so cool that this is a huge shift.
Yeah, absolutely. So picking the right moments, Dan, to press, to sprint, to join the attack. I think conserving energy where these players can, and I think this speaks for both teams. You got to make sure your engine's not running too hot. There will be some hydration breaks for sure, but we definitely have to make sure that the players are also thinking about it on the field. So before we get into starting lineups for tonight, we definitely want to say the message I usually screw up. This copyrighted telecast there, I already did, of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without express written consent of the United Soccer League. Man, that was brutal. All right, let's talk about starting lineups here, Dan. Why don't you talk through the away side?
Yeah, we'll start with the visitors. As always, the starting lineups are sponsored by Shell's Brewing Company, proud brewers of Shell's beer, and of course, Minneapolis' favorite, Grain Belt. All right, John, River Light is going to line up in a 4-3-3. They're going to have goalkeeper Saeed Anaptawi. He's going to have in front of him center backs Tomas Slawek and Ryan Quintos. They're going to be flanked by Darian Martin at the left back and Levi Swearing at the right back. The midfield's made up of Adrian Biaggi, Quana Brayboy, and Carson Messina. Up top, they have their own Preston Huitron, and he is flanked with Jacob Rayo on the left wing and Andrew Sanchez on the right.
And for Minneapolis City, somewhat of an unchanged lineup for Coach Oliver and Coach Flintham. In goal, you have number 1, Daniel Sessler. Across the back line, number 24, Nick Kent, 22, Jared Hecht, and number 3, Cole Schragi. In the midfield, player to watch, number 8, Ian Shaw. Number 2, Jack Swallen. Number 10, Jackson Kirsch. And on the wings, number 17, Shea Bechtel. Number 7, Andrew Heckenleibel. And up top, Joe Highfield, number 18. And number 9, Preston Kipnusu. So as we're getting underway here.
I think, John, the big news is Morgan Olson. He's out sick.
Yeah, not a day to play sick.
No, definitely not. And he's been in form for City. So, that's a loss, but we've seen a ton of Shea Bechtel. We've seen a ton of Andrew Heckenleibel this year. So, hopefully they're able to step up and in for him.
So we'd like to have obviously we have this great event, the Gene Party. We have quite a few sponsors that are new to those that regularly turn into our broadcasts. So our presenting sponsor today is Pilgrim Dry Cleaners. Game day looks good, but doing good looks even better. Pilgrim Dry Cleaners is a proud sponsor of tonight's Jean Party, turning denim into a force for change. From jean jackets to jorts and everything in between, Pilgrim handles life's messes. Even grass stains are no problem. With 28 locations across the metro, they're always close by, so think about that. Trust the team that keeps your wardrobe winning. Visit pilgrimdrycleaners.com to schedule a pickup. They'll even come get your stuff, Dan. To schedule a pickup and find your nearest location. Thank you, Pilgrim.
Well, with that, as we think about the great sponsors for this Jean Party event, we'd like to say thank you to Balloon Fancy.
Love it. Balloon Fancy. My favorite fancy.
Want your decor to make a pop without the budget bursting? I bet you do, John. Balloon Fancy has you covered from the Jean Party's festive flair to graduations, anniversaries, and corporate outings. They bring the wow without worry. If you can dream it, they can inflate it. Make your next event unforgettable with Balloon Fancy.
I love Balloon Fancy. I only get to say that like 4 times a year, and it's always at this soccer game.
They've got a great balloon gate in the front of the stadium for us, and second year they've done it. I like it.
I love it. Well, one quick, I guess we'll call housekeeping note for the folks tuning in, Dan, is that it's so hot here that the scoreboard kind of half works. So it went out on us. So we'll do our best. We got a ticker up on the top left of the screen to be able to see the actual time. But if you're looking at the scoreboard, there might be a lot of zeros up there for this game. We hope not, though.
No, definitely not. But that does just show how hot it is, and it's been all weekend long.
The nice part is that the stands here at Edor Nelson Field primarily are all in the shade. So if you're sitting on hot aluminum.
Oh, that would.
It's hot in this booth wearing this jean vest.
Brings me back to our first days at
The Barnyard.
Yeah, Les Barnard Field in South Minneapolis. Man, it was hot and uncovered.
Cavernous, I guess you could say, is the right way to put it.
There was a lot going on. John, I think in addition to the heat, a thing that players are going to have to keep their eye on is the wind. It is extremely windy here today, very gusty.
It looks like it's coming south to north as we get underway here.
And that's where you can see a sponsor banner across the way down in front of the city bench. That was torn down by a gust. We've lost some tents already in the stadium, and how the players kind of adjust to that is going to be key.
Highfield making a run early.
Highfield taken down. Oh, Brave Boy took him out, but he waves no at the referee, and the referee agrees. Sent long to Sessler. I thought he got him, John.
I wasn't paying attention, I'll be honest. I was looking at the smoke coming out from the citizen supporter section, but it looked to me that it was close enough where it could have been ball that it could have gone either way.
Draghi looking long, he gets it back, and then swollen back to Sessler. Sessler has the sun coming at him. I think the angle is better than it is going to be in the second half. Kipnusu trying to play in Kirsch.
Good step by Highfield.
Quintos heads away. Heckenlabel with the win. Referee says play on.
It's good work by Heckenlabel.
That was. I think we're starting to see this referee's going to let this game play. It's great for the players early to see how is this. John, I'll tell you, we've had a number of referees at home this season who've really been willing to let the game flow. I love that.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, as a player, you like getting stuck in. Well, maybe not every player, but it's nice to be able to throw a tackle in and not have to worry if you get a little piece of the man that you're going to get in the referee's book.
Riverlight had been comfortable so far, sending that one long. That was Slawik just hitting it over the end line. And I think, as you talked about in the keys to the game, is both sides, they've got to really manage their energy levels. How are you going to approach this game? How are you going to make sure you got some gas in the tank when you get down into the 70th, 80th minute?
Everyone getting crossed up there. Riverlight looks to recycle the ball here.
we got a little bit of a mismatch on the numbers on the field to what we were given. So we're gonna,
Not a shocker.
Not a shot. Frustrating nonetheless. We're going to try and figure out exactly who's who right now. Number 30 in particular, I'm looking at you.
Well, what do we have down for number 30?
Nobody. Slaug takes down Kipnusu, and that's a foul.
We're just going to go with the names we were given. So we're sorry for folks at home in Illinois if we call someone close to you a different name.
Shaw has to turn out of some really quick pressure. Sanchez was all over him. Bechtel drives through.
Oh, unlucky.
Can't go quite past Biaggi, although referee called a foul there.
I see where this referee's going today. Allowing the advantage to materialize. I like that. Because far too often across all levels of soccer, Dan, I mean, you've seen it just as much as I have, that there are so many quick whistles.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And you love to see it play out a little bit. It's been an impressive start from the referee while these two teams feel each other out.
Opportunity for Heckenleibel.
Kirsch played him wide. Heckenleibel working on swearing in. Looks on the ground for Kipnusu, but that's cut out pretty well by Biaggi. We've got the other press in, but he can't get there before Heck does.
Dan, would you like to have seen Kirsch maybe take a flyer there?
Especially early in the game. See what the goalkeeper's about? Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
I don't mind looking for space. That's unfortunate from Kent. Gives up the ball to Darren Martin, but Shea Bechtel is there. Highfield was tackled by Slawik, but that's a City throw.
Seeing the two strikers get a little disconnected here, Dan.
It's a little bit messy from both. Both are really looking to press quickly whenever they get the ball in on a narrow field like this one. It doesn't give you a lot of time at all. Nice work from Riverlight here. Here's that number 30 who we don't know. Wish we knew his names. He played a delightful ball out wide. Man, Riverlight just keep that in.
Yeah, staying on the hook there.
Riverlight patient. That was swearing him, but he gives it up to Heckenleibel. Kirsch finds Highfield. Highfield is waiting for support. A little bit of a misunderstanding there with Kipnusu and Bechtel.
At the least, it clears the lines for City.
Well, I think we talked about this a little bit last game too. Sometimes being a little bit more vertical, putting pressure on the defense, not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. You just got to make sure both are expecting it. Nice from Biaggi with Kirsch on him.
It's really nice.
That cuts out what was Route 1 from Awabi, and City are able to retain.
Nice work by Swallen.
Lovely from Heck there to find Bechtel again. He's looking for Highfield wide. Highfield just had one man in front of him. Nice little touch forward, uses his pace.
Unlucky.
Unlucky there.
Really, really great work by Highfield there. I think, number 27, Darren Martin, was expecting the early cross, and that nice little touch around was unexpected. He could have just closed that touch up a little bit. He had Kirsch wide open, and Kipnusu also wide open.
slower start than we've had the last few games. You can see the heat really taking a toll. Players willing to close quickly, but we're not seeing the full team, full field pressing that we maybe saw when it was cooler.
There's a cone on the field still. Kipnusu's in.
It was a nice ball from Heckenleibel. Kipnusu well, got tangled up there with Quintos. Kipnusu's upset, but I think the referees are right on that one. It ended up getting knocked back off of him as he and Quintos both went over the end line, and that's a River Light goal kick.
I'm glad they got the cone off the field. That would be an unexpected danger.
Oh, imagine
honestly.
turning into that and losing the ball.
Or stepping on it and sliding.
Swollen, nice tackle there. Highfield has a bit of space as he pulled off of his last man, but Swollen needed to do a lot of work to retain that ball.
Yeah, a little talking to time.
There's a whole lot of talking early, but it's number 30, the guy who we don't know.
I mean, it would be a lot easier for us if he just got sent off. Don't have to worry about trying to get his name right.
That would be really nice. The sooner the better, because he's been pretty involved, and I don't know who he is.
We have a 32 and a 33, but no 30.
Shaw finds Swollen with a lovely touch. He was in a lot of pressure. Nice dummy from Heckenleibel. Good touch from Kirsch. Kipnusu looking for Heckenleibel again. He continued his run. Kipnusu is offside, but Kirsch is able to play that to himself. It was really nice from Heckenleibel. I love the dummy. I love how he continued his run. Close to getting on the end of that one. And here's a player to watch, Ian Shaw.
Great ball into Kirsch.
Kirsch takes it in stride, looking across, headed away though. Quintos was there. Kirsch finds Kipnusu. Kipnusu mishits.
Get a corner out of that? No, he misfired.
Yeah, he's gonna want that one back. That maybe surprised him how it fell to him, but
Good job to stay with it for Kirsch. Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, you bank on him to bury those, and so would he. John, that's been a little bit of an issue for the Crows so far this season, is not taking all of the chances.
Yeah, we talked about it last game. They've scored 3. So hopefully they listen to that game, rewatch that back. The answer is still the same for Minneapolis City all season, just creating chance after chance and nothing coming through, in volume.
High for the Kipnusu. Kipnusu is looking wide, but goes to the goalkeeper. River Light counter through Martin. Well, we'll take this minute of that pass win straight to thank True Tempo Partners for their support of the Gene Party. From creative campaigns to the Minneapolis City SC kits you're seeing today, True Tempo is the design force behind the club's bold look. This creative consultancy helps brands stand out and ignite their potential. With the denim-inspired event tonight, the story hits close to home for the founder, Scott Mank, who has helped bring the Gene Party to life as a tribute to his son's journey with spinal muscular atrophy. We also want to send a huge thank you to Jamie Bourgeon for helping bring the Gene Party to life. True Tempo, where purpose meets creativity. Check them out at truetempopartners.com. Sitting in a dangerous spot.
Good work by Nick Kent.
Nice from Nick Kent. Still pressured from the other Preston. Able to hit away, falls to Kirsch. Nice little touch there to win that away from him from Sanchez, who tracked back well.
few unlucky bounces for the Crows here in the first half, Dan. Yeah, the scoreboard's working. Nice.
All right, that must mean it's cooling down a little bit. Ball sent long. Schrage heads to Heckenlabel. It's a nice piece of defending to be aware of, not just the attacker, but also your winger.
Highfield's in.
Kipnusu finds Highfield. Handball! The referee
No
says
way,
no.
there's no way.
That went off of Slavic's hand. It was wide out as Highfield looked to find Bechtel.
The replay is definitely going to show different.
It definitely will. In the referee's defense, he had a terrible angle. Heck gives the ball away. Now we've got Ryu on the attack.
Good work by Ian Shaw.
Ian Shaw comes back. City will feel rightly aggrieved by that one. That could have not only been a penalty, John, but that could have been a sending off for what looked like an intentional handball there. However,
Last man back, too.
yeah, however, if you look at how the players, just how their body shape were, I'm not sure the referee saw any of what we saw. Doesn't happen often, but we had the perfect angle actually up here in the booth.
Well, you would think that the assistant referee on the line would have seen that. The ball would have gone through directly into their path.
It was quite a change of direction on that one. But here we are, Riverlight on the ball. Nice ball looking over the top for Ryu. He's offside.
We found out the mystery man for Riverlight, number 30, Carson Messina.
Well, it's good to know his name. He's been doing a lot. And Martin taken down by Bechtel.
Another giveaway by Riverlight.
Struggling with the pressure. Now Kirsch is on the ball. He's looking over the top to Kipnusu.
Oh, man.
Just over his head. Great stuff from Anatwabi to grab it, but if Kipnusu had been able to get there first, that's a sure goal. I'm not sure I'd recommend goalkeepers run behind the forward, except in a situation like that, just slightly overplayed by Kirsch to his college teammate.
Great knockdown play.
Highfield looking for Shaw. Shaw looking to play across the back. Lovely from Thomas Slavic. He had to do something, and he had to get it right. Highfield and Kipnusu were there. That was lovely from Highfield to play Shaw in, and you just love to see him driving forward.
And it all started with really good interplay between Shaw and Swallen. Getting out of a tight space.
I mean, look at you making sure the number 6 gets his due, but I think you're right. A lot of times Swallen is doing the little things right. His positioning's right. The first touch is right. You don't see him spend a lot of time on the ball, and if he had spent any more than that, he would have given it up.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a 3-on-1 counterattack the other way.
Hecht! He sends it back to Kirsch. I'm not sure he meant to. Now we've got that man Swallen on the ball. He delivers. Highfield!
Corner.
That was absolutely a corner. Nice work from the center back, actually, because Highfield, man, he has ups.
He was alone, too.
He may have even over-jumped it.
Let's see here. Great ball in by Swallen.
That was lovely. Look at that read.
Hecht behind him was who was all alone. If his teammate gives him a shout here, that's 1-0.
Kirsch on the balls was played short. He delivers to the back post. Nick Kent was there, but headed away right in front of him. Riverlight doing an excellent job defending the set pieces.
It looks like we have our first hydration break. hit a few of these sponsors. Stimulus Athletic, in a world of basic, boring sportswear, Stimulus Athletic said no thank you. Born to redefine custom athletic gear, Stimulus is athletes first. Innovation-driven and built for visionaries on and off the pitch. From bold jerseys to creative collaborations, they are changing the game stitch by stitch. Get the gear your team deserves at StimulusAthletic.com.
And I just emphasize that. They've been fantastic to us since 2017. Could not recommend them any higher. StimulusAthletic.com. If you go reach out to them, make sure you say Minneapolis City sent you. Next up, though, we want to thank Co-Create. This is a big shout-out to our new sponsor, Co-Create. You want to be a better leader? Stop reading self-help books on the toilet and start actually doing something. Co-Create offers personalized coaching that'll get you thinking smarter, leading stronger, and feeling less like an imposter. Check out Co-Create today at growwithcocreate.com. That's growwithcocreate, all one word, .com.
Our brains are hot up here, Dan. It's tough. Minneapolis City also gives thanks to our new sponsor, the Bryant Lake Bowl and Theater, an uptown institution. Bryant Lake Bowl has plays, concert, improv shows, and of course, banging food, booze, and bowling, all in a kick-ass vintage environment dating back to the 1930s. Check out the menu and the show schedule at BryantLakeBowl.com.
The players are coming back out after that first hydration break. Let's give them one more sponsor shout out, John.
I think wait for the next hydration break in the second half. What do you think about that?
Man, well, you've already rejected me. Luckily, we've been friends for a long time. John, what's your take on how this game has played out so far as you've been through the first 17, 18 minutes?
I think it's been a game of unlucky bounces so far for Minneapolis City. Unlucky call on the potential handball. Excuse me, but there's been a lot of like little bounces, weird ways that haven't let the Crows be very clean today.
I think you're right, and that's one of the things, particularly playing on this field, that you never quite get used to, but it certainly happens. Now, looking at the weather, so it's 93 degrees right now, a ton of humidity. It feels like 102, but we know on turf it can oftentimes feel
like 115.
Yeah. So you've got that working with you too. Do you change your approach?
No, I think you like. Why I say you don't is Minneapolis City in specific is a very patient, possession-focused team first. So if it's hot out, you're just going to want to be extra patient. So they already do that. Work by Kirsch.
It's great work for Kirsch. A little bit unlucky. Riverlight retained possession. Nice stuff there from Biaggi. Then Messina. Riverlight still continuing possession, but drags that one wide.
Sessler was kind of rooted in his spot there. That was fortunate for the Crows. But that play in particular, Dan, just speaks to what I was saying. Like, there's 3 Crows around the ball, and it hit each of them 3 times, but somehow the Riverlight player comes out of the dog pile with the ball, and a great look on goal. That Sessler, like I said, rooted in his spot. That could have been really, really dangerous.
It could have been. It fell to the forward, Preston Huitron.
Kamnusu
He gives that away looking for
shoved.
Smallin. Ball's white to Bray Boy. And Riverlight win their first corner of the game.
It's like all 11 Crows back to defend this one.
And Riverlight line up 5 just inside the 18. They've got number 8, Preston Huitron, who's deep in the box. Kipnusu heads away. There'll be another Riverlight corner kick. Starting to see the wind really pick up here. That ball sent deep, and Highfield sees it out. It is really gusting, and interestingly, given how the stadium is set up, behind us we have an ice arena. This is Minnesota. On the other side, we've got I-94, and then you get some bigger buildings. So you're starting to find some really weird effects with the wind. It's not necessarily coming from just one direction. Kip Newsu.
He was looking for Bechtel there. He actually was like kind of in between Bechtel or Heckenleibel there.
Heckenleibel may have been offside. He pulled up his run. Almost picks that one off, but then Sanchez can't control.
The wind when I was on the way here was definitely south to north, Dan, but it looks as if it's kind of going a little bit northeast, which, as you can see, that ball just hung up there in the air.
Bechtel wins that, and he's able to control back to Kent. Yeah, as if this field wasn't tricky enough to play on. Now you've added swirling wind. Strachey looks to go wide, but he plays that ball out.
Twenty-fifth minute, excuse me. Still 1-1, not a whole lot of offensive action for either team. A few offensive interjections more for Minneapolis City that haven't really come to quality of chance, Dan. But so far, I think it's been an even match.
I think you're right. You know, the XG won't show a whole lot, although City will have the penalty shout from what looked to have been potentially a handball, and they've had some things, like you said, that didn't quite come off. But hard to say anything was just kind of a nailed-on chance for either side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Riverlight have done a nice job really holding on to the ball, playing patiently. I say that, and they play that out for a goal kick here.
What we've seen from a success standpoint from Minneapolis City is the inside to outside. So whether the ball's won from maybe Shaw, player to watch tonight, Kirsch, or Swallen, it going into one of the forwards to feet, and the wingers kind of coming onto it has been really, really dangerous so far.
Highfield picks up that ball from Swallen, but he can't get it to Bechtel, and it's a quick counter from Riverlight. Out for a City throw. Ryu was asking for something from the referee, but you know, based on how he's called it today, that's not one I'd expect him to call. And like we said earlier, I kind of like how he's letting him play.
I mean, he turned around and ran right into the back of Nick Kent, so there wasn't anything in it anyways. But even if the referee just kind of looks down and sees a body on the turf, they're gonna maybe make a decision.
That does happen sometimes. Ball falls to Highfield. Highfield finds Kirsch. Kirsch out wide to Kip Newsu. Kip Newsu's on. The man saying he was off had kept him on. Now Highfield, can he break through? No. Nice work from Darian Martin to cut that ball out.
Once again, just that one weird bounce. Doesn't happen for City.
Swallen with the foul there on Messina. I called Slavik Martin there. I didn't mean to take away your good defensive work, Tomas. He's been difficult to get past today for City, and in fact, he scored the free kick that opened the scoring when these two sides played each other in Aurora, Illinois back in May 22nd. It's the first time that they've met each other. And this is only Riverlight's second season.
Nice work.
Great interplay. Bechtel looks for Shaw. Slawik comes over. Bechtel retains the ball, finds Shaw. Shaw's delivery. Kip Newsu tries to get there. Quintos does just enough. Bechtel's still slow getting up. Luckily for the Crows, loose touch, and that ball's played out of bounds, so it'll be a City throw. Really nice play in tight spaces there, John.
Yeah, I mean, it was one-touch football right there.
We've got to credit the Riverlight center backs. They've done a really nice job, particularly on Kipnusu, who's been playing up against them with Highfield dropping in a little bit.
Unlucky for Heckenleibel.
Yeah,
The idea was definitely right.
Sanchez is running after that, but Heck's there first. He's going to shepherd that one all the way out.
And then hand it off to Sessler to finish the job.
It doesn't go on the stat sheet, boys.
Yeah, that one's not trackable.
Both sides goalkeepers taking their time to let their players reset and get a minute in this heat. Hard to blame them.
Well, if I'm Minneapolis City, I'm doing that because you're looking at the wind behind your back in the second half.
Highfield, ball's high. He can't quite retain there. Riverlight got too wide. They're going to attack through. Heck clears.
Riverlight doing a nice job to absorb the pressure here.
So looking wide, quick ball. Don't mind that, except he's got Andrew Sanchez offside. Sanchez knew it. That's one of those why not balls, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot of those why not balls create into chances against the Crows, historically speaking, Dan.
We sure have. In a lot of ways, that's one of the trade-offs of playing here at Edor Nelson Field. It's a lovely facility. We're here in downtown Minneapolis. There's so much to love about it in the atmosphere, but it is one of the smaller pitches that you can play on in USL League 2, and for a team like the Crows, particularly how they've been playing now, they could use a little bit of extra space. Although here's Bechtel. He looks for Shaw, plays it a little bit beyond him. He's going to be a little frustrated with that.
So once again, just that little distance. Maybe, if you're Bechtel, you eat up a little bit more turf on that, get a little closer. We had about a 15 to 20 yard gap between him and the closest defender. Maybe that Shaw run clears something out for one of the strikers.
Yeah, I get it though. You want to reward the lung buster. Shaw came a long way at full speed. Swollen in there. Kipnusu with the winner. Gets wrapped up with Biaggi. Biaggi is able to somehow get that ball away to a teammate. Swollen so calm though.
Nice ball.
Nice ball from Bechtel to Kirsch. Kirsch has Shaw in support. He uses him. Highfield drives forward. You'd love to see him put his boot through it again. He fires! Saved by Anatwabi. A little bit too close to the goalkeeper, you'd have to say, but great chance from City.
Love the idea. Love the idea.
Ryu gets there in front of Kent. Heck, in the end, is there in front of Messina.
He's so big and fast.
He is.
Just closes down like 5 yards every step of his gait. It's got to be real tough for especially a short striker.
I mean, usually, John, when you're creating a player, you have to give up a little bit of the height and weight for speed, but not with Hecht. Tough for Shaw, but he gets it to Highfield anyway. He's taken down, but Highfield has time. Heads up, and he finds Heckenleibel. Heckenleibel does a lovely job.
Hit it.
Get back swearing in. Is he going to shoot? He cuts it over to Highfield. Highfield's on the
goal! Highfield!
That was just beautiful work from Andrew Heckenleibel. Gets the ball to Highfield, gets the ball back, did all the work. What a finish. That full stretch from Joe Highfield, just to poke it past the goalkeeper.
I mean, the touch he made, which really set the keeper on his heels. I mean, if you watch his first touch by him, like traditionally speaking, most strikers hit that first time. The touch right there.
Yep. Oh, beauty. Freezes the goalkeeper, John. You're absolutely right. Lovely work from the winger. Lovely work from the forward.
Impromptu hydration break, I'm guessing. Unless that was planned. Score before the hydration break. Good strategy, Coach Oliver.
Like we said, it feels like 102 degrees here in Minneapolis, and that's even before you factor in the turf, which has been baking all day long.
All weekend long.
All weekend long. I mean, we were right on the edge of this game being playable. That's why the kickoff was pushed back to 7 p.m. from 2 p.m. But here we are. John, it was a 33-minute goal from Joe Highfield to make it Minneapolis City 1, Riverlight 0.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, though. Like, even last night with high temperatures in the Twin Cities and the Metro, as soon as the sun goes down, like, reprieve comes. So, like, second half, I think you might see even some of the players coming off the bench for either team, like, having a little bit more energy than the first half guys. I know they played 45 minutes plus at that point when substitutes are coming, but I mean, like, from the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, particularly for anyone who is watching this from maybe south of the Mason-Dixon line, part of the challenge, and we talked to the athletic trainer, David Bloomquist from Twin Cities Orthopedics, who heads their athletic training unit. And one of the things he talked about was how quickly the weather shifted here. So there's no time for the players to get acclimated to it.
Yep.
2 weeks ago it was 55 degrees and rainy. We had mid-70s, maybe high 70s, but this type of intense heat is the first time we've faced this in Minnesota. And so part of the challenge is players who haven't been able to play into it, get their bodies used to it. That's where it's almost a shock effect to what's happening today.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I learned from moving here was just, like, how quickly the cold moves in the winter and how quickly the heat moves in the summer. There's no, like, spring. It's like winter, then summer starts.
I've heard rumors of spring and fall, John, but I've only seen a few days of each.
When we grew up in Dayton, there was a leafing season.
Oh, yeah, spring and fall were the best seasons. A little bit of a mix-up for City and Riverlight are on the attack. We're going on the ball.
Here's where for the Crows, you gotta play smart, gotta shore this up.
Oh, that was a little bit of a miscommunication, but I love what Brave Boy was thinking there. Nice little head fake in. Unfortunately, he sold his own player.
If you're Minneapolis City, you definitely dodged one there.
Well, I think you're right. And if you are Minneapolis City, there's a level of, you need to make sure you keep your head in the game. Shot hits the crossbar.
Sessler knew where that one was.
I'm not sure he did. Particularly if you're the goalkeeper on that side of the field. Now, as the sun starts to lower, it's getting right in your face.
Well, luckily, Sessler's tall enough where that's not going to chip him, but it is going to give him problems, like when he was trying to track the ball off the crossbar.
And looking long, but Kipnusu wanted that early. He was offside, had to come back, gives the ball to Riverlight.
Step by Schrage.
Hit a step in quick on Sanchez, swearing in. Oh, somehow he retains that. He trapped it off himself, and then his head looks to play him in. Just gets to Sessler. Riverlight down a goal. I think that reflects the run of play. However, this has been a very even game.
Absolutely.
John, if you're Riverlight, you've got a short bench, you've got a ton of heat, you're down a goal. When do you start going for it? Versus continue to play the way that you have?
I think you get out of the half, see what the outcome is.
Ooh, that was a lovely idea there. Quick turn, rolled past Hutron though.
You get out of the half, you see how it finishes out. You're still 1-0. I think then you come out and you try to level this game while you have the energy. The referee dropped his whistle. Gonna need that.
Ken finds Highfield.
Great ball by Kirsch.
Yeah, hides it to Kirsch. Kirsch finds Heckenlabel. Heckenlabel on the run. Cuts in on his right, then his left. Shoots! Save!
Oh, what a shot.
Heckenlabel, he has been on fire tonight. This may be...
And he wins it back. Oh, he got
called for that one.
Bailed out there.
What I'm seeing from Heckenlabel, I love your take on it, is we're starting to see a ton of aggression. He's higher up the field, and he's decisive. That first, he made the goal for Highfield. Little shimmy there. Right time to shoot. I loved his inside-outside move.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, at last match. There was probably I'm going to say like 5 or 6 opportunities where he transitioned slow, and he would have been showing us what he's showing us today. Interestingly enough, he chooses the hottest day of the summer to put forth more offensive effort. But hey, you do you, Andrew. That's fine. But I think you're 100% right. He's been outside of the decisive passes that have gone out to him from the central partners. He's been the bright spot today.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Kirsch finding him early. But, you know, if he's not there, if he's too deep, that ball goes to nowhere. Nice stuff as we start to see a drive from Biaggi, but tough to get through that City defense. However, you know, if you're Minneapolis City again on this field, you got to be careful. That ball bounces differently. You got someone through. Highfield finds Kipnusu. Kipnusu turns. He's going to send it high to Heckenleibel a little bit too much, although he's on the run. He's going to put Swearingham under a little bit of pressure and put the goalkeeper under some pressure.
I think if you're talking about a teammate that you want to get behind, that's the type of teammate youth soccer players. He made the mistake, and you know what he did? He got on his horse and he tried to fix it instead of yelling at Heckenleibel for not getting back or not getting to that ball, because it was a bad ball on his part.
Hecht has to get there, and he does, but he's going to send it just as far as Toy.
I mean, that's a shot. Put it on the scoreboard.
And you could see Schrage there. He had to head that away, got stuck a little bit with the sun in his eyes. You don't have much time here on the half. If you're City, you don't mind getting the sun in your opponent's eyes, and maybe the wind, although it started to die down a little bit. The wind might be in your favor too.
Yep. You know how you get around that, Dan? Put the ball on the deck and you play passes.
God didn't put grass in the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Seen his pressing swollen. He wins a throwing off of him. He's just so calm on the ball.
Yeah.
I feel looking for Kipnusu. That was a nice flick on. Too much for Kipnusu, surrounded by yellow shirts.
Jay Beck did the right thing there, and
Quintos working on Bechtel. Bechtel wins it. A whole lot of big bodies going down. Quintos wins it back again.
this is a smart thing. Just hoof it.
Kent ends up knocking it out.
There's another situation where it was like 4 Minneapolis City players and 1 River Light player, and somehow the gold shirt comes out of it.
Martin, he throws it long. Almost to Messina in the end. Nice turn from Biaggi. Schrage almost gets there. Luckily, he's got Shaw.
Good work by Heckenleibel.
So I called it Schrage. That was Heckenleibel. They have similar haircuts, John. They must both be going to Twin Cities Barber Company, one of our sponsors. And Kipnusu, he's whistled there for a little shirt tug.
Someone's got some blood. River Light player.
Yeah, Levi Swearingham. This looks like it's on his knee there. That's a little turf burn. Worst thing about that is it gets you in the shower. You know?
Oh, the next day it's the worst.
So bad.
Now maybe if you have energy for the next 2 minutes for Minneapolis City, up a player, put that press on, try to nick one.
River Light doing a nice job retaining possession there. Good work from Sanchez to retain the ball. River Light finds wide to their other Preston. Dances around the ball. Ooh, Kirsch is there. Love what the other Preston was thinking there. Just kind of drop that back. Oh, Kirsch. He himself thought Highfield was there. Loses but retains. And look, Joe Highfield's all the way back. John, I think one of the things you were talking about with, would you like to play with these guys? Look how hard they're working for each other.
Yeah, like there's another thing too. Like Kirsch, he made the mistake, and you know what he did? He fixed it. Oh, unlucky for Heckenleibel.
Just a few minutes left here before the end of the first half.
I guess it's on stoppage. 6 minutes.
We had 2 water breaks
And a goal.
and a goal. 6 minutes wouldn't surprise me.
Also 2 just to get the guys into the air conditioning wouldn't surprise me either.
I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes, if you're a referee, you get them in, you just add it to the end of the game. Why not play the injury time when it's a little bit cooler?
Mm-hmm.
Sessler sends it long to Kipnusu. Kipnusu tries to get past Slawik. Slawik goes in. Nobody gets the ball at all. Kipnusu picks it up. Driving forward, Shaw.
Oh, unlucky.
That's a lovely bit of defending there from Riverlight, and they're able to find the other Preston as he's on the attack. It's a foul from Nick Kent.
Ball wasn't stopped.
Nope.
Good tactical foul by Nick Kent. There was some yellow shirts behind him.
Looking long. Kent is there. He's going to need to win his own header. Does Shaw under pressure. He loses that. Heckenleibel's back. And Kent has to give up a throw.
Let's wait till that ball kid to get off of his seat and give the guys the ball.
I recognize that ball kid.
Yeah, I brought him. Super excited.
If you've got kids looking at ball kid, you need to reach out to Minneapolis City. You can find the contact information at mplscitysc.com, or you can email us directly at theclub, all one word, at mplscitysc.com. We're all full up for this season, but next season it is a blast. Kids love it. I'd recommend it. Nice work. Little chip shot. No one's there. I don't mind that if you have that left winger attacking up, though.
Plus, you're going into the sun again. We already talked about what that does. I mean, even goalkeepers aren't the only ones affected by it.
Right. We saw that with Schrage earlier. A deep Minneapolis City throw. Long throw opportunity. Only goes as far as Martin. Swollen whistled there. That's the tough part with making contact, is you give the referee, the reason to.
I didn't see a ton in that.
Whistle there. I didn't either. This is going to be a dangerous spot for a free kick here in first half stoppage
Watching
time.
the replay, he just kind of goes down on his own.
He was certainly hoping to buy that one, and he did. So we've got Martin standing over the ball along with Brayboy. Referee's going to push the Minneapolis City wall back. And here's where that sun could be a little bit of an issue. We got Brayboy on his right.
I think he's
He'll take it as Martin steps away.
I mean, why not?
It's a shooting opportunity, I think. He plays it too
Sessler.
easy for Sessler. 2 hands, pulls it down. You know what? I don't mind that.
No, absolutely not.
You got the sun working against the goalkeeper. I may have hit it with a little bit more, but challenge him. Schrage in trouble. He gets the bounce this time. Oh, he's put in hard by Biaggi. Wouldn't be surprised to see the referee go. And there he goes. Goes to his book. That's going to be a yellow card in first half stoppage time for number 6, Adrian Biaggi. Maybe a little bit of that heat kind of frustrating you there as that bounce didn't go your way.
I mean, he stopped a counterattack. Your tactical fouls, you don't want to get that yellow, but that yellow could be a difference between 1-0 and 2-0. We're getting an indication there's 4 minutes at least of stoppage.
It was unfortunate from Shaw, who his pass is intercepted. He plays a little bit short to Sessler, who just
Kick it
kicks
anywhere.
it, which sometimes that's what you got to do. You know, a long throw there from Martin. He finds the other Preston.
It's a handball.
One by Hecht, one back by the other Preston. We've got Messina on the ball. He shoots or crosses.
That was a great ball.
Man, I thought that was a shot, but that turned out to be a lovely ball. He had Sanchez attacking. Sanchez headed wide.
That was a...
Yeah, he picked his head up. He meant every bit of that. That was difficult to defend.
Yeah, great ball. Coach Oliver, you're not only sweating from the heat, but you want to eliminate that stress in the last few minutes of this half.
Some weird bounces. Highfield makes the touch to Kirsch. Kirsch was other side of Slowik. We've got an injury down, so we're going to have the trainer come in.
I think he's got an errant hand to the back of the head.
Yeah, that's Brewboy who's down. Don't mess around with anything in the head.
Wasn't he who just played? He was the guy who just played that pass in to Sanchez.
I thought that was that may have been him. Could have been Biaggi. I've got the memory like a goldfish.
I have no idea.
So it makes me a good goalkeeper. You just forget about what happened a second ago.
We'll add a few more minutes onto the half.
You know, you have to take the player off there. I know if you're a player, particularly when you get that adrenaline pumping, you're frustrated by it, but just not worth messing around with a head injury. And we'll have the final whistle here for the first half. It is Minneapolis City 1, River Light 0. We had a great early goal, and we'll talk about all of that, including what was one yellow card, when we're back.
Stay with us. Welcome back, soccer fans. USL2 soccer action here at Augsburg University, Edor Nelson Field. I'm John Bisworm, joined by the Dan Hudeman. It's the jean party tonight, Dan. We're both up in the booth here wearing jean vests. It's also hotter than Satan's mouth in Minneapolis. It's probably 90 degrees here, and we're looking at, 8 p.m.? But there's also something else that's going on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, you mentioned the jean party, John, and so this is a denim-themed celebration. That's why we're wearing the vests, and fundraiser supporting the University of Minnesota's Center for Genome Engineering. So tonight's donations, and you can donate online. Certainly everyone here, we've got a great silent auction. We've got a raffle. It's powering real science. All proceeds from the Gene Party go to the University of Minnesota's Center for Genome Engineering, where researchers are developing innovative therapies for cancer and genetic diseases, and training the next generation of genetic engineers. If you want to learn more about how your support, you should go online to MPLSCitySC.com to support, is going to support groundbreaking research and shape the future of medicine. Visit cge.umn.edu.
Well, we're seconds away here from second half action in this USL2 matchup between your Minneapolis City Crows and River Light FC. If we're talking about the first half, yellow card on either side? Nope, yellow card just for River Light. We'll get to that in a second. But the only goal coming in the 33rd minute, just before the hydration break, number 18, Joe Highfield, calmly takes a first touch inside the box, buries it in the back of the River Light net. Other than that, Dan, there wasn't a whole lot of action. There was one yellow card in the 45th plus, so into stoppage time by Adrian Biaggi for River Light. But it's really been, I think, one-way traffic for Minneapolis City minus an unlucky bounce.
I think you're right. In a lot of ways, it's the heat.
Yeah.
These teams playing slower than you typically expect. River Light's done a nice job being calm on the ball. Haven't created a ton of chances, though they did hit the crossbar.
Absorbing a lot of pressure, so on the defensive foot for a lot of that half.
I think you're right. And they've done a nice job of trying to gobble up Preston Kipnusu, particularly center back Tomas Slavek, though he's been supported very well by Ryan Quintos. City, however, the best chances, definitely deserve the goal. Only one goal to show for it, though. And so if you're thinking about how City came out, you've got to think that outlet really is going to be perhaps winger Andrew Heckenlabel.
And we found him a lot in the first half. And we talked about it briefly, that a lot of the action was inside out. So our player to watch, Ian Shaw, today, number 2, Jack Swallen, like those two guys, and you can throw number 10, Jackson Kirsch, in there. Jake Swallen. You can throw number 10, Jackson Kirsch, in there as well. They get the ball, some nice 1-2 touch interplay. All three of them touch it, get the ball out wide. And you saw both Bechtel, but specifically in the first half, Heckenlabel really dangerous on the outsides. So, Dan, you usually ask me this. If you're Coach Oliver, what are you doing to come out of this half?
I don't know that I change much. I like how you talked about how the City midfield is working. I've been really impressed with Joe Highfield coming deep, Preston Kipnusu staying high. That's caused a lot of problems in terms of just managing the space for River Light. The thing I tell them, though, is first 5 minutes, we have to win those. Don't let the bad bounce get you. Mm-hmm. Don't switch off. Now is the time, and particularly in that defense, got to stay vocal. You got to stay together.
Yep, and expect the mistake or the bounce. We saw a number of times in the first half where Preston Kipnusu or Jackson Kirsch, they were the ones that were responsible for the mistake, and they busted their butt to fix it. We talked about it. I love that out of a soccer player.
I think you're right. This is a quick attack from River Light. Heckenlabel, nice little head fake there. Does enough for swearing and not to get to it. That ball rolls out. Can't bite on that. Ball goes to Schrage.
I think one thing you mentioned that Dan, in your recap of the first half, Preston Kipnusu, I think they River Light didn't see Joe Highfield in game 1 against them, and they're spending a lot of time with focusing in on Preston Kipnusu, and with doing that, who frees up? Your goal scorer.
No, you're absolutely right. And Highfield has had a lot of space, and it's interesting to see him pull off of those center backs who can't really follow him because you can't go one-on-one with Kipnusu. Shaw, nice ball to Bechtel. Can Bechtel get past? Really nice touch pass. Slowik, he shoots. It's deflected. Oh, deflected onto the woodwork. Kirsch fires over.
Oh, man. Put that one in St. Paul. But
nice work from the goalkeeper.
what a great save. Once again, we're running up against goalkeepers making great saves in that goal versus Minneapolis City this year. Something about that goal.
That was lovely work from Bechtel, who got the right side of Slawak fired. Quintos just got a little bit of a touch on it, too. I'm not sure the goalkeeper even touched that.
Dang it. That would have been nice.
The post did, though.
We definitely don't want to lose sight in that. You know, I'll wait until this attack is over here for Riverlight.
Sanchez, who finds Swearing, and he's wide. Finds the other Preston. For a nice 1-2. There's that inside out that City was doing. Messina, though, passes it right to Bechtel. City deep. Bechtel can only play to Slawak.
You're asking a lot of your central striker to try to chase that one down, even if you're not 6'4".
Riverlight playing a lot higher now. We're seeing a lot more shade, and John, like you talked about, what we've seen this weekend is it gets a lot cooler, a lot faster once that sun's not beating down on you.
What I was going to mention before, during that Riverlight attack, is that interchange between Bechtel and then ultimately making the goalkeeper for Riverlight make that save. I don't want to lose sight of the fact that it was a win in the central part of the field for Ian Shaw.
Player to watch.
Player to watch. Makes the calm touch outside of the foot to the winger. So once again, inside out.
Nice work from Swallen to win after pressure from Kirsch. Kirsch turns away from danger. Very quick to close down with Sanchez. Highfield does just enough. Nice work from Heckenleibel. Oh, he plays that across. Looking
just
for
a little
for
too
Bechtel.
far.
Too much. John, you talked about at the beginning, you wanted to see Heckenleibel a little bit further forward.
He's doing everything right today.
How quick did he jump on that ball?
Yeah, he's doing everything right. And you're seeing it. I hope you watch this back, Andrew, and see how just another 5 to 10 yards of your starting point into the transition for the attack is just putting you in great positions.
He's very much been the danger man out wide. I don't know, if I were him, I may have just
Taking that.
taken a rip.
We showed last time in the first half, his first interjection was a pass, and his second was a shot. So keep an eye on what the next one is.
Well played by Swearingen as he finds Sanchez. Sanchez out to the other Preston. He's looking deep for Ryu. Ryu is one-on-one with Nick Kent. Nick Kent looking for some help. Ryu can't get it past him. But falls to the other Preston.
Still out of danger.
Shoots high.
Good tracking back there for the City midfield. You had Kirsch, you had Shaw in there. And on the back post, you had Jake Swallen waiting for that only release valve that could have been there besides the shot. So really good defense.
Swallen, like we've seen in pretty much every game he's played, he's not making
what a ball.
Wow, great ball
What
from
a
Kirsch
ball.
to Bechtel. Bechtel's in. He's other side of Sanchez. He shoots across.
Oh, what a save.
Great save. Kipnusu couldn't quite get there.
Kipnusu was on his horse for 35
No, he
yards to get
did.
that. I'm saying respect for him to Shea Bechtel for playing him that pass after making that run. But once again, another goalkeeper making a sweet save against us in that goal.
Quick reactions. Lovely stuff from Anaptawi.
Yeah, Anaptawi's been really, really stellar to start this half.
Yeah, but to go back to Swallen, he's not always high enough up the field, so he's super flashy, John, but he's been critical.
Absolutely.
Kirsch hits long. He almost overcooks it for Kent. Anaptawi comes over. Kipnusu. Kent plays it again to Highfield. Highfield! He's over with the volley. No goalkeeper in the net, though he had a lot of Riverlight guys on the line.
I do like, though, that he didn't try to put his laces through it. He tried to just kind of usher it into the goal. A lot of strikers would just put their head down and put that thing into St. Paul. But that was a really good opportunity to try to maybe lift one over the goalkeeper who was already out of position.
So 3 big opportunities for the Crows to start this half. They still lead by just a goal. Kirsch, good job retaining possession. Finds Bechtel wide. Bechtel gets past his man. He plays across. Saved by Naptwawi. There's
so much
little
stuff happening.
bit of ping pong there. Highfield headed off of Quintos. Quintos headed it out of bounds, and that's going to be a corner as Naptwawi can't get to it.
Naptwawi's been man of the half so far.
He has lovely stuff from Bechtel to get there. Yeah, a whole lot of
everything.
soccer tennis there.
Really good composure by Bechtel to evade that tackle.
Yeah, that was really nice as Martin came in hard on him. Delivery early.
Man.
Fell to Heck's feet. He didn't know much about it. Shaw sends it back in. Hacked away. City so far doing everything but score. Highfield finds Kipnusu. Kipnusu looks for Kirsch. Kirsch can't quite get there.
Bechtel's there, though.
Bechtel does a nice job again. He shoots, deflected again.
Corner.
He's going to win the corner off the boot there. Back of the boot of Slawick.
And the denim is in full press right now. A heat press, Dan.
Well, hey, while we're talking about that, let's give a shout out to Shell's Brewing Company, home of the iconic Grain Belt Premium. Shell's has a German craft brew perfect for any season. Available at bars and liquor stores everywhere. Thank you, Shell's. Kirsch delivers.
Oh!
And that's a goal!
There it is.
Hard to see that one as it just went over Highfield's head, but Kipnusu was there to bury it. And that is here in the 54th minute, John. Minneapolis City 2. Riverlight 0. Preston Kipnusu burying that.
Nice.
From the corner from Jackson Kirsch.
All right. Well,
See the
finally.
replay. Looked like Highfield was going to get there.
He definitely shouted for it.
He may have thought it was him.
It went through his hair. Give him the assist. Getting confirmation on the touch sideline that it was Preston Kipnusu. And we look to have some substitutions for Riverlight. We will get to those as soon as they come through. But what a response. I mean, you come out of the nice, cool locker room, and Minneapolis City did not start cooled off, Dan.
No, this was the best spell, actually, from the Crows this entire game. This 10 minutes has been pretty much all Minneapolis City, despite a bright early, probably 30 or 45 seconds from Riverlight. Since then, it's been the boys in, I hope it's not real denim, John.
You know it's not. We have a number issue with the substitutions.
Well, we know that number 18, Nicholas Juarez, is going to be coming in for... All right, we do have a number issue, John. I take it all back. We'll try and figure that out, such as life in the lower divisions. City pinned back deep, but Kenton Bechtel doing a nice job playing that out. Nice flick on by Kipnusu. Heckenleibel's working on Sloak. Sloak gets there first.
Guy got that right.
Very much had to get that right. John, I've been really impressed by Heckenleibel. As he plays this aggressive, this high, he's a different player.
I can't say it enough. It's just he's doing the job also defensively. We can't lose sight of that. But just being that 10 to 12 yards further up the field, really, really doing a great job of getting involved in the attack. I'd love to see him get one here in the second half.
Oh, absolutely.
We have the goalkeeper change coming up too.
You know, we've got Juarez. He was just on the ball there. He's new in. As they push Quintos up, it looks like they're playing 3 at the back now.
Pushing another up top. Made it. What else?
Nice ball wide, and all of a sudden you're going to see Sanchez on the attack here. He looks to play that in. Not a bad ball. Blocked.
Still not
Falls
out.
to the other Preston. He's back out to Sanchez. Sanchez takes a second. Finds the other Preston. Flicks that one up. Oh, that falls! And that's
Offside?
a goal.
Offside?
He is onside. That's kind of what I'm talking about. You know, that's that unfortunate bounce there. As that falls, and it's just a little bit too easy there to finish. It was Juarez in the end.
Substitute coming on.
So that's Minneapolis City 2, Riverlight 1. We're going to have a substitution. Saeed Anabtawi, the goalkeeper, is going to come off for
Number 19, Jacob Wright. That's Minneapolis City 2, Riverlight 1.
number 20, Justin Darlaga. If you're watching at home, we're doing the best with what we've been given. In number 32, we don't have number 32 on the sheet.
Hell, we'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, we might. The substitutions don't have numbers on the sheet, any of them. But we're back to a one-goal game, and Riverlight on the attack.
Number 6, Adrian Biaggi. And number 21, Andrew Sanchez. Number 18, Nicholas.
The goalkeeper was injured, Dan.
Adam Daniel.
Training staff looking at him right now.
Yeah, they are. It looks like it may have been a rib. Kent does just enough, but Ryu was able to get that one.
Again, one of those bounces. Just not going the way.
And Sanchez again. That's the other Preston. He shoots high. Really high. However, if you're City, you're starting to see some alarm bells ringing.
Yeah. It's a complete table turn. Oh, how the turntables have turned, Dan. First 3 minutes of this half, Minneapolis City was just banging on the back of the Riverlight goal, not able to find anything, and as soon as that goal went in, it absolutely changed.
Swan finds Highfield. Quintos is able to beat him to the ball then in the end. Kirsch wins it. Nice, lovely turn as he turns away from two defenders. Finds Bechtel. Bechtel's on whoever number 20 is. It'd be really great if we got rosters. Sesser has to clear. He finds Shaw. Shaw with a nice touch, but gives that one away. Heck just wellies that one. All right, looks like we've got number 20, Adam Daniel, who's on. He came on, looks like for...
No idea.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little bit. Looks like he can't...
I don't know. Well, we'll try as best as we can.
Looks like
here,
he came on for number 6, Adrian Biaggi, who's on the yellow card. Then they moved Quintos into the midfield, kind of step up. So we got a little bit of a formation change.
Kim Nusu almost read that.
You're starting to see, Riverlight is they push a lot higher.
There's three forward now. So the central three of Kirsch, Shaw, and Swollen. You're going to need to probably account for that extra attacker who's leaking through.
So in the end, it was the goalkeeper, Saeed Anabtawi, who came off for Owen Cornell. So Owen Cornell, who is now number 32. Not that you see it so it matters, but he's the new goalkeeper, and we hope Anabtawi's okay. He was working with our Twin Cities Orthopedics athletic trainer. Kirsch looking for Kipnusu. Nice work from Quintos to get away with that. That was lovely stuff just to head that through. A little bit of skill.
Really great stuff. He came from offside. Yep.
He did come from offside. The flag is up.
Great call by the sideline official. And we're at our first hydration break here. Dan, why don't you run down the stats for everybody?
Well, Minneapolis City came into this half with a 1-0 lead. They scored in the 54th minute with Preston Kipnusu, but were pegged back in the 56th minute by Nicolas Juarez, who was able to really poke through a little bit of, and there's a whole lot happening in that box. So right now you got Minneapolis City 2, Riverlight 1 with substitutions. John, we've got no one on a yellow. It's been a pretty clean game.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we want to thank Schell's Brewing Company, home of the iconic Grain Belt Premium. Schell's is a German craft brew perfect for any season. Available at bars and liquor stores everywhere. Thank you, Schell's. If I've read that twice, you're welcome, Schell's.
Well, and as we see our athletic trainer working with the injured Saeed Anabtawi, let's give a thanks to Twin Cities Orthopedics. Minneapolis City and our opponents are in good hands with our longtime sports medicine partner, TCO, with orthopedic urgent care open 7 days a week and a wide range of specialty services. You can achieve your goal of returning to your best. Learn more at tcomn.com.
Guys, look your best. With the only barber you should trust in Minneapolis. Twin Cities Barber Co., locally owned and operated in the heart of South Minneapolis, offers quality services that'll have you feeling your best. Treat yourself to a traditional barbershop with a modern style and make appointments today at tcbarberco.com.
John will be there on Wednesday.
Nice.
I see Kyle. His chair is right next to Gunner, the owner, so I usually just chat with both of them.
I don't have any hair, so
Yeah.
maybe I can just go hang out, chop it up a little bit.
To be fair, it is the old school barbershop experience. I love it. My kids love it. My youngest asked, why are they talking to me so much? And now he wants to go back every time.
Your average Sport Clips experience, kid.
Strachey looking for Bechtel. Bechtel down the line. And that's going to win a Minneapolis City corner. Ed and Daniel doing a nice job for Riverlight. So just kind of put the brakes on Bechtel.
A sneaky substitution while we were just talking about getting hairs cut. Number 22, Jared Hecht, made way for number 20, Curtis Wagner.
Kirsch delivers, headed on. Kip Nusu is a little bit too high, a little bit too hot for him, and that's going to be a Riverlight throw-in. Hecht's so good in one-on-one defending. He did a really nice job on their forward, their center forward, Preston Huitron.
Nusu just getting tossed around out there. And the referee's just kind of letting it go.
Eckenlab was able to come away with the ball for a little bit. Falls to Swollen. Nice little flick finds Eckenlabel. Yeah, there's been a lot of really kind of aggressive pressure, particularly in the midfield from both sides. You do not have much time on the ball. Kirsch turns, but that's going to be a foul on Quintos, who came out far to cover him. They've really targeted Kirsch as a danger man.
Well, I think what happened was that Kip Nusu went out wide, and there was a huge gap, and the central players for Riverlight didn't have a big body to match up against, so they went to the next best thing, which was the most advanced midfielder.
John, if you look at a player like Preston Kipnusu,
Thank God I have to play against guys like that.
Oh my gosh. Big, strong, great technically, great movement. Yeah, it'd be difficult. Shaw delivers, it's going deep to Highfield across! And that's a goal!
Bechtel! Shea Bechtel with the 66-minute goal, giving the Crows the 3-1 lead.
That was lovely. That ball went deep. Highfield headed it across. John, I gotta say, Kipnusu, though, was way too high for him. He froze the goalkeeper by going hard at it. It was all too easy for Shea Bechtel in the end. Look at this. Got him. Lovely work.
Well, looks like the goalkeeper, Cornell, ran square into the back of his central defender. Not saying he would have gotten a hand on that, but he was making the attempt for it.
Well, this is where Minneapolis City, we've seen the Crows do so much of this work on the deck. Think about that first goal with the Highfield Heckenlabel. Great work. But then also, you know what? If it's going to take a A set piece to do it. A set piece will do it.
Oh, Shea Bechtel.
Shea Bechtel knocks that one onto. Oh, doesn't quite make the freeway.
Nice.
That saves us some money.
Thanks, Shea.
Good stuff from Cole Schrage there. We've seen some really nice one-on-one defending from Schrage.
Yeah, he's been great all season, Dan.
Somehow rolls over and falls to the other Preston, and then back to the other Preston. Very nice from Quintos. Shaw out quickly. Good stuff. Good stuff
Good
from
block
Curtis
by Kurt.
Wagner.
Big Kurt.
He had to be there. Lovely work from Juarez. He's come on. Well, that was not Juarez. I take it back from
Somebody.
looked like Messina. Juarez is there on the ball. Look, you got to choose your fonts well because when 18 looks a lot like 19. So I take it back and I apologize to Jacob Ryu. Lovely work for him. Schrage got a touch in the end. It was Highfield who had to do the defending. That wins a Minneapolis City free kick. John, we saw this early. The aggressive tracking back from the attackers. That's incredible.
I mean, it's a situation where if you put the work in for your teammate, they will do the exact same for you and be accountable for your mistakes.
And in that case, no mistake. You just saw forward Joe Highfield tracking all the way back to cover for Schrage, who did a great job defending. Just the spin on this turf is such a thing. And I think that's the thing you kind of talked about, John, is like the accountability, the teammate, the guys playing for each other. Heckenlabel, nice win. He's in. He's just got one to beat. He's got Kipnusu to his right. Oh, shoved away by Slawik in the end.
Just put your head through it, buddy.
That was a lovely win of the ball on Juarez. John, we've said this for so long. He's playing with aggression. He's playing high on the pitch. He's putting in the work both sides of the ball. This has been absolutely his best performance, and every time he touches the ball, he's dangerous.
Joe Highfield using his speed this time.
Oh, it looks across to Kipnusu. Kipnusu shoots. Goal!
Oh, Preston Kipnusu! The double on the day in the 70th minute. Preston Kipnusu doesn't get all of it, but he ushers it in.
He does enough, and we got to go back to Joe Highfield. What a lovely move by a Highfield. Gets past his man, using some pace, and the two of them, it's just like training ground.
I haven't seen that speed out of Highfield this summer. Look, he ran completely by his defender.
That was lovely stuff. Adam Daniel, too, is a substitute, so he's fresh, and he's beaten.
There were some other substitutes that came on. We do not have a number 24 on whatever we were given. And we also do not have a number 17. Oh, we do have number 17. But 17 came in for number 13, which we don't have.
So this is a plea to USL League 2 teams, too. Please.
Just please give us the right numbers.
Just on the right numbers. All right, so it looks to me that Carson Messina came off, maybe for number 24. Looks like to be Justin Darlaga. And number 17, Martin O'Toole, came on for
someone.
We'll find out who here in a minute. Wagner comes across. Nice stuff from Shaw to find Kipnusu. Kipnusu's wide, working on Juarez. And he wins the corner there. Nice work from the big forward. We've got some guys getting their gear on the City bench, John. Here we are in the 71st minute. Minneapolis City winning by 3. Now's not a bad time as you look ahead. Next match here at Edor Nelson Field against Rochester.
Yeah, save some legs.
Pushing themselves to the playoffs.
It's also really hot, so.
It is extremely hot. We've got 4 teams, John, separated by 4 points in the Heartland Division. We got Sueño, Rochester, Minneapolis City, and RKC Third Coast, all separated by the 4 points.
So each game matters, Dan.
Oh, it's critical.
I know you just say that in general, each game should matter, but each game has that extra incentive with if you drop points, there might be someone behind you who's gaining them.
And that ball falls to probably Darlagi. He was working on big Curtis Wagner. He was able to win it. Highfield's got a second. He's also got a lot of defenders around him. Looks for Kip Nusu. Good step forward there by Juarez, and they're able to walk away as Riverlight. Coach pushing them on. Nice ball forward to the other Preston, but he's got Schrage there. Schrage looking to win the throwing off him, doesn't do it, but Shaw's able to pick that up. And Swan, look
nice
at that.
Oh, wow. If you find number 19 out there, Dan, I think that's who Martin O'Toole, number 17, came on for.
All right, that was Jacob Ryu, who almost was able to score Riverlight's second.
We're getting some raffle ticket being called out, some raffle items.
I'm too old to be able to read those numbers myself. There's Swollen, gets past 3 guys before he's taken down by Ryan Quintos.
Putting on a show today.
He really is. What a player. John, we've seen a lot of great players here, any number of pros. Swollen this season, I got to be honest, he belongs at a higher level.
I 100% agree with you. I was just going to say, if you're a general manager at a USL 1 or championship team, like this is a player you absolutely need to take a look at.
Gibnusu trying to turn slow, can't quite do it. Schrage wins it in the end. Not going to beat Cole Schrage with that. Gibnusu's out wide. Crosses Highfield, lets it run. He knew Heckenleibel was there.
Heckenleibel's still there.
Nice work from the winger. Lovely bit of skill as he gets past this man. And he wins a corner from that. He's been on fire today.
He has.
Gosh, I've been really, really impressed with him. He's up against Justin Darlaga.
There's a lot of changes happening.
Oh, looks like they're going to end up calling that for a goal kick. Well, just got to say to Heckenleibel, like, we recognize that.
Yeah.
What great work from him.
What a great day. It's like 5 changes coming on for Minneapolis City.
It's gonna be a big shift. But like you said, it is hot. Big Curtis Wagner.
Uh-oh.
Ball falls to him. Sometimes you get those bounces. Highfield's flick can't quite find the attacker, but he gets the ball back. Shea Bechtel, he sends it deep.
Kurt kept it in, but
Yeah.
he didn't kill himself. And here come the substitutions. Yes, here come the substitutions. We're going to get to them, do our best.
5 substitutions for the Crows. Here we are in the 75th minute. Minneapolis City 4, Riverlight 1.
Oh, no, here's the worst part. We're going to have a hydration break. Well, Dan, while we're at the hydration break, why don't you break down what we saw since the last hydration break?
John, I think, as we talked about at the beginning of the half, what would you change? Nothing. The chances were falling. The team is going forward. We were finding a lot of great outlets, both Bechtel and Heckenleibel. Both wide, being really dangerous. Highfield dropping back. It was really difficult for Riverlight to grapple with the Crows. They tried some substitutions. Didn't work, and I get why if you're Coach Oliver and you're Coach Flimpton right now, you're up 3. It's been very hot. You got a big game coming on the weekend. You start to make these changes. But man, when you say it's in Vegas, right? When you're rolling a heater,
Yeah.
just keep going.
Keep going, yeah. And goal differential might be the difference in this conference. So I hate to say keep banging goals in on a team that's truly traveled hard. I mean, they only had 5 players on their bench, having to use all of them with a goalkeeper injury. But, there's no room for being Minnesota nice in the Heartland division.
Well, especially this year, we have 5 Midwest divisions, so the 5 division winners all go to the playoffs. But then, John, it's only the top 3 based on points per game of the second place winners, or the second place teams in those 5 divisions who go forward. Right now, the Heartland division would have the second place team who would go into the playoffs. Actually, the third place team and possibly even the fourth place team, depending on how RKC do, as you're starting to see perhaps a little bit of a separation between those top four who've been getting result. But like you said, you know, as we get into points a game and you look at that tiebreakers like goal difference, it could be really critical.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we did get a handle on the substitutions with the numbers that we do know. Number 12, Joey Tawa, entered the game for player to watch, Ian Shaw. We'll talk about him in a second. Number 19, Ms. Harris, enters for number 17, Shea Bechtel, goal scorer. Number 5, Otis Anderson, comes in for number 10, Jackson Kirsch. Number 11, Bernard Acebi Rule, comes on for number 7, Andrew Heckenleibel. And number 28, Sully Twill, makes his first Minneapolis City appearance of the season and on the ball right now. And I believe that was it.
That was it. 5 changes for the Crows as they lead by 3.
Number 30, Joey Tower. And number 32, Otis Anderson.
And here in the 78th minute, you know, you're going to have some added time for the goals, for the water breaks. But if you're the city coaches, you also got to think about, man, it is hot out here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you see there's 3 players left on the bench, Andieki Mena and Tomas Mena and Jack Roach. I mean, I think maybe you're not looking to replace Sessler, but you might be looking to replace Joe Highfield, who's really put in a great shift today.
No, he really has. His movement, to me, has been the difference maker for him, and especially when you have, let's go to Ian Shawls, that ball falls to Otis Anderson. Anderson flicks that ball forward to Sully Twill just wide of the post.
I believe he was offside.
He was flagged for offside. Lovely bit of attacking from the substitutes, though. But as we talk about Ian Shaw, you know, what I've seen from him over the past couple games, too, is really driving forward, really pushing this offense forward. And when you have Kipnusu pushing off the defenders and you have Highfield coming to the ball, all of a sudden, if you're a midfielder, that makes a lot more sense for you. You've got options, and you've got a guy, particularly in Highfield, who's shown he's willing to lay the ball back off you. Make those runs.
I mean, it's a real nice luxury to have 2 strikers playing against each other that go 6'3" plus, Dan. And you typically have only one of those, and they're the one who's responsible for the check-in hold-up play. But then you add speed to both of them as well, and that's a lot for defenders to handle, especially if they're checking too, because they could turn on you and then run right past you.
Oh, absolutely. And we actually saw that with both Kipnusu and Highfield, their ability to get on the ball, turn, and put Riverlight in a ton of trouble, although they're on the attack right now.
Big Kurt.
Curtis Cucks in, steps in on Daniel.
What was that again?
Ms. Harris is going to have to work back. Be careful what I say now on Sanchez.
At this point, if you're Riverlight, Dan, are you continuing to play the high line of pressure? Specifically speaking, because Minneapolis City has put in more fresh legs than you have.
Twill does a nice job. That was sort of a header dummy, and that falls to Anderson. Anderson, though, he's going to be just run down, particularly by Slaga. That did a great job at Juarez.
How does that not go out of bounds? Oh, that's $1.
Oh, lovely ball through from Anderson to Ms. Harris. Ms. Ale Harris, he has. Oh, he had a CB rule and he had Twill both running, and he plays it just too close to Cornell, the goalkeeper. Gives that one up.
What I like here, Dan, is look who's covering back at right back right now. Joe Highfield.
He's just put in work from beginning to end. And I think we talked about this too. You've seen everyone do it. Kipnusu, you've seen Kirsch, you've seen Hackenlabel. Any of those attackers willing to put in work. And you've seen what the defenders are willing to do too.
It gives you some Christmas Secret Santa cred by tracking back. And what I mean by that is, when I call for the ball, give it to me. I'm going to go score.
But John, you asked a question. If I'm Riverlight now, I go for it. What do you have to lose? We're here to play the game. Offside. I love that from Sessler. As a goalkeeper myself, I didn't care.
Never
if
let
the
it go
whistle
behind
went.
you.
It's not going to go in.
Never let it go behind you.
And then you tell them that, too. You get in their head. But that kind of goes back to this is a different attitude from this team. I don't know if we've seen this since 2021.
2018.
I mean, teams just fighting for each other, tracking back, putting in the work.
Winning's contagious, Dan, and it breeds hard work.
Here comes Sully Twill. Problem with that sideline wall is it is close. Juarez pushes Twill almost into it. Anderson turns Brave Boy back. Riverlight resets.
Really? Like Curtis Wagner. 15-yard sprint to track number 2, Quintos, who was pushed forward. Like, just the guys are putting the work for each other. It's awesome to watch.
Look at that for Highfield looking for Twill. Twill's not offside, but he thought he was.
I think he was offside. The referees are just doing a good job of letting the play continue.
Well, you may be right. I thought he was close. That's a tough one when you make that run behind the defender, how you time it. Twill plays his college soccer at University of North Carolina, Charlotte. And he played his youth ball at Minnesota Thunder Academy along with guys like Joe Highfield, who's just been so good today. Howell gives the ball away. Falls to the other Preston. Nice work from Riverlight. Very close there. It was Darlaga, the substitute. He was in. Knocked it over.
Curtis Wagner saying no, but mainly because he beat him to that spot. But we'll see here. Oh, he was on.
It was a lovely ball. He was on.
Yeah, he's going to want that one back. He had
Yeah.
every opportunity.
Huge chance. That was Riverlight's best chance.
And it
This
looks as
half.
if the man of the hour we've been talking a lot about, Joe Highfield, is wearing number 22 today. That's why we're getting the numbers mixed up. We're wearing the charity jerseys.
Yeah. Number
I get it
18 may
now.
have been a small, but
Yeah.
Tomas Mena comes
Tomas
on.
Mena, he might be number 23. He might not. We know who he is. He's number 14. Look at that. I'll make that change. Also believe that Sully Twill is number 24, not 28. I will confirm that as soon as he turns around.
He's 28.
Nope, he's 28. Eyes playing tricks on me here.
Sessler has to clear.
CB rules
That's-
in if he can get the first touch right.
He's using his pace. Darlaga didn't play that well. CB Rule cuts it on his right. Shoots, goal!
Oh, Bernard!
That was deflected. And then dollar fine to the goalkeeper, Cornell, and that's Minneapolis City 5, Riverlight 1 here in the 85th minute.
We talked about it. He had to get the first touch right, and he did. He put it in a positive area. He had options. Ms. Harris, he had Tomas Mena, but Bernardo CB Rule, I believe that's his first goal with the senior team.
That is his first goal, certainly this season, John. I think he had one in 2022 when he first started playing for the Crows.
If you're Riverlight, it's decision time for sure. It's already 5-1. You're pushing numbers forward. You're tired. Not many more. There's no more options on the bench left for you. I know you talked about still continuing to go for it, but there's also the opportunity where this one gets lopsided to the point where you don't want it on the division score sheet.
You know what? I think for them, if you look ahead, because you have those 4 teams separated by just 4 points, and if you look at RKC Third Coast, they're already 3 points ahead of you. So if I'm Riverlight, I mean, goal difference doesn't help me right now. I go for it. I gotta be honest. I feel for Riverlight. They've had some weird results in their games. You know, this isn't one of them, but they've certainly had some others. They've got some good players. I like how they play. You know,
Yeah, they play really, really attractive soccer.
And on the ball after Tawa wins it. But, I think if you're River Light, you probably think, hey, we're not going to make the playoffs now. So who cares about goal difference? Let's go for it. Let's score. Twill to Anderson. Anderson back to Twill. That was good tracking back there by Daniel. But he gives up a City throw in there.
It was just weird that the second half just fly past. We're already in the 86th minute. Minneapolis City up 5-1 over Riverlight.
John, I think you're going to Taco Bell tonight.
No, I'm not. It's not 5-0.
Mm.
It's the rule. Keep this dad bod shape in check. Our producer Drew said he's going to Taco Bell. You do you, Drew. You did a great job today. Treat yourself. $7 box. Get those cinnamon churros.
We've got two guys offside, but they're going to let that run to Sessler anyway. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I love that from number 17 Martin O'Toole making some contact with Sessler. Not sure what the point is, but John, if you're Minneapolis City, this is your biggest win since beating Duluth 6-1 to win the NPSL North Conference title back in 2021 at Duluth.
Tala whistled for an unfortunate slip on the turf and then having to grab his player.
And so it's got to feel pretty good. This is only the third City win by more than a goal in what's been a really tight division. It's not just City that's only been winning games by goal. If you look at division leader Sueño,
it's been 2-1, 3-2.
They've only won. They've only won games by a goal.
Yeah,
they're very good though. So take nothing away from Sueño. That just shows how tight this division has been, outside of perhaps Chicago Dutch Lions,
who also put in really good shift against us and other teams.
That's true, particularly as players who they have in from Northwestern started to come in. They've been a much different proposition. Sessler looks to clear, and
He does.
yeah, it's almost into the Citizens. Stuff looks wide. That's a nice ball there for Martin.
Good bounce there for Mena. It's a luxury for Coach Oliver, Dan, to be able to replace a 6'4" striker with a 6'3" striker.
It is. John, Joe Highfield, who kind of talked about the 6'3" striker, 2 years ago, he trained with Minneapolis City, went to University of Portland a little early, so he didn't make an appearance with the Crows. Redshirted, came back, great season for City, and then for Portland, who typically a powerhouse program, always around the top 25, always playing top 25 teams. As a redshirt freshman, Highfield comes in 7 goals and 5 assists as a redshirt freshman.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's a bad giveaway from Mena. We're going to find the other Preston. Schraggy's there. The other Mena shoots. It's wide. Sessler didn't seem too bothered by that one in the end, but here we are in.
And there'll be 5 minutes of extra time as we reach the temporary end of this one. But I was going to say, like, kind of piggyback off what we were talking about, like Joe Highfield comes on as a redshirt freshman in a powerhouse program in Portland and then scores bunches of goals. He's now got, 5 in 3 games for Minneapolis City?
No, he's just been excellent.
So a prototypical striker. You get hot, you get hot. In his first few games when he came to Minneapolis City in the summer, his first summer, the goals weren't falling for him. And then he gets hot right before he leaves for Portland. So, you continue if you're Coach Oliver, like, he's got to be in my starting lineup and until hopefully he never hits a dry spell.
Well, and, I think last year, very much a different team, and Highfield did fantastic, in last year's teams. Mena, nice where he cuts in, shoots. That's going to be wide of the post. But now all of a sudden, he's got Kip Newsu next to him. I think Kip Newsu's on 5 or 6 goals. You've got Kirsch behind him. Kirsch is on 7 goals. You've got Heckenlabel. You've got Bechtel. You've got Morgan Olson. You've got a whole bunch of players who can create, who can score goals, who can be dangerous. All of a sudden that starts to open up, I think, some options that he didn't need last year.
Yeah.
But now that you have a little bit of time, take advantage of it. And we've seen that happen. Ball goes wide to O'Toole. O'Toole working on a Seabay rule. He's looking for the Dutch line. Seabay rule doing a nice job with his body. He ushers that one out. We've got just a few minutes left here in injury time. Minneapolis City 5, Riverlight 1. 4-goal explosion from the Crows here in the second half after Riverlight had even the score. Oh, he got hit by the cross there. Made a big deal of the push by Kent. I got to be honest there that there's nothing in that one except the cross hitting him in the face. After a nearly flawless performance from the referee, you can give him one, but I'd be pretty disappointed if we watch this on the look at that. It's just a ball hit him in the face. It's not a foul. So it'll be a free kick in a very dangerous position for really no reason at all. And so he's going to have everyone back and almost all of them in the wall. Got 3 Riverlight players over the wall.
Really good opportunity for Riverlight here.
And this will be their best opportunity to have. You've got Hutron sitting over it. You've got Martin standing over it. Pinto's walking away, so it's just the right footer and the left footer.
A lot of blue shirt, a lot of denim covering Sessler's post.
Sessler,
what a
great save!
Sessler.
He puts that onto the post. Lovely bit of goalkeeping from Daniel
Wow.
Sessler.
What a save, Sess.
That was hit hard with curl from Daniel Martin. Almost looked like a certain goal, but Big Daniel Sessler said.
He said, "Where's my denim?"
And he keeps it at 5-1. And we've got offside there. Justin Darlaga.
Fans, be sure to make your plans this season for a post-game party every Minneapolis City home game at the Corner Bar in 7 Corners. Friends of the Murder get deals on shells, pints, and pitchers. And don't forget to try the almost famous Joey Wings. Thank you, Corner Bar. Perfect timing as the referee indicates stoppage time is complete. Minneapolis City, your Crows 5, Riverlight 1. I am John Bisworm. That is Dan Hudeman. We're going to collect our thoughts on this second half, and we'll be back with you in a few moments. Stay with us. Welcome back, folks. John Bisworm here with the Dan Hudeman. Going to unpack this 5-1 victory for your Minneapolis City Crows versus Riverlight FC. Shot chart indicates what the scoreline was. 15 shots for Minneapolis City, 9 for Riverlight. Felt that was a little generous, but hey, 9 times they had intent on goal. From a scoreline perspective, game got going. The Gene Party with Joe Highfield in the 33rd minute. Then there was a goal for Minneapolis City in the... Oh, sorry. And there was a Juarez goal in the 56th minute.
For Riverlight.
For Riverlight. Then there was, before that, a 54th minute goal by Preston Kipnusu, who followed up with a 69th minute goal. But before that was a 66th minute goal with Shea Bechtel. And number 6, Adrian Biaggi for Riverlight picked up a yellow card somewhere in there right before halftime. And then the game was finally sealed off for number 11, Bernardo Rule in the 85th minute. Dan, like we talked about all the things that were going against both these teams. It was hot as hell outside. We know this, fixture congestion. Like you're playing every couple days towards the end of the summer here. The interest level can wane a little bit. Riverlight traveled fairly short tonight. They had 5 subs, used them all. Unfortunately, their starting goalkeeper had to make way. But then you look at Minneapolis City, on the front foot, majority of the game, bounces here, bounces there. Things that weren't going their way, and if they did, scoreline potentially higher than 5-1, but I feel like 5-1 tells the true story of this one.
John, I think you're right. Yeah, the first half score of 1-0, pretty fair. I was pretty impressed by Riverlight.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job in the first half.
They struggled to really create meaningful chances. And then in that second half, that first 10 minutes from Minneapolis City, we really saw a statement of intent. And as Riverlight started to flag and the Crows really started to find what was working, 5-1 felt fair. And if you look at this Minneapolis City team, they're really starting to play into themselves.
And we talked about it multiple times. It's like the guy making the mistake, tracking back, trying to fix the mistake. Your target striker who had a goal and potentially 2 assists. I don't remember, but at least a goal and an assist. Tracking back, playing right back until he was ultimately subbed off. Maybe he's making his way closer to the bench. I don't know, but we'll say he was tracking back. Like there's a different feeling for City right now that we haven't seen in a while, which is like the brotherhood's back, Dan.
No, I think you're right. You know, when you see guys, particularly in this heat, and midway through the first half, it felt like 102 degrees here in Minneapolis. Before you added in the 10 to 15 degrees on the turf, you had guys making lung busters, 40 yards runs to defend. Oh, that's a different level of, really playing for your teammates. And to me, a lot of that, just that willingness to do the hard work, was a differentiator.
And I think we talk about player to watch tonight, Ian Shaw, like fantastic in the center of the field. We highlight him as player of the match, full well knowing he might not do any of the spectacular, but what he has to do, he does so well.
John, I think you're right. And if you look at Ian Shaw, you look at Jake Swallen in particular, you don't always see the spectacular for them unless you're a connoisseur of a great first touch, unless you love a turn into space, unless you love those the quick passes, like the fast ball movement that will release a Jackson Kirsch or release the forwards or release the wingers. If you really know ball, all of a sudden you see what those guys do. This is a nasty midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about players of the match, Dan. We might differ a little bit for reasons all of you fans are going to find out right now. But for me, we talked about it last match, the opportunity to get our wingers up into the attack, create those numbers disadvantages, and being maybe a little bit more connected to the front line. For me, it's Andrew Heckenleibel. Like, we talked about it ad nauseum throughout this broadcast. The guy was in the right spot every time because he was playing 15 yards further up the field in the attack. Probably could have bagged a goal himself today, but was unselfish as well. So, like, for me, you talk about a man of the match, you can go into who you want to go into, but for me, it's Andrew.
I think on a game like this, it's difficult to choose. Everything you said about Heckenleibel, I agree with. And particularly when we saw him a little bit higher up, a little bit more aggressive, we saw a different player.
Yeah, absolutely. So who'd you pick?
For me, it was difficult, but what I liked was I liked Joe Highfield dropping off
Yeah.
of Preston Knusu and really using his wingers. He was always finding pockets of space.
Yeah. He was doing everything he had to do.
Everything he had to do. He was tracking back. He was winning the ball. He was flicking the ball on. So much went through him. And so much of, in a lot of ways, and not to take away from anyone, because everyone was doing the dirty work.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
He was doing the dirty work. He was doing the attacking work. I mean, what a player.
Well, the Citizens picked Preston Kipnusu. I won't fault
Hard to argue with that either.
myself, your pick, or the Citizens. Well, this one wraps it up with Minneapolis City getting a very crucial 3 points in a crowded Heartland division in USL League 2 this summer. 5-1 Minneapolis City over Riverlight. Once again, I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. Super happy to support Gene Therapy, Gene Party. Super excited to go in my car and take this Gene vest off because it is so darn hot here. 2 founders, 1 booth. We'll see you next time.